Let's get right to the bottom line. Game over. The buzzer has sounded. The U.S. men's ice hockey team literally just took down Canada in the final agonizing seconds of an all-out war. It was fast, it was completely brutal, it went right down to the absolute wire. The energy in that arena, electric doesn't even begin to cover it. All right, let's dive into the tape and see exactly how we got to this unbelievable finish. Going in, the narrative was pretty much set, right? Canada is built on history. Pure dominance. They were the ultimate historical nightmare for a much younger USA squad stepping onto the ice. Everyone, and I mean everyone, thought experience would win out. They said the pressure would just break the younger USA team. But, as we're about to see, they were completely wrong. The second that puck dropped, it was just this visceral clash of styles. Boom! First hit within seconds. The crowd is erupting like a thunderstorm, and you can practically hear the skates slicing the ice like knives. USA came out completely swinging. They wanted instant chaos, early possession. But Canada's defense? Man, they were a brick wall, challenging every single pass, blocking every single shot. You could feel the pressure rising with every tick of the clock. Then, out of nowhere, a sudden break. Canada attacks fast. They fire this massive shot and save. The USA goalie stands incredibly tall. No celebration, he doesn't even blink. His message was simple: not today. That one unblinking save sent a very loud, very clear message to both the Canadian bench and that roaring crowd. This game is going to hurt, and absolutely nobody is backing down. So, moving into the second period, the USA really intensified their push. Everything escalated. We're talking faster passes, sharper movements, just a massive spike in raw aggression. They finally get this breakthrough pass, they completely beat two defenders, take the shot, and boom, saved again. The Canadian goalie just flat out refused to fall. At this point, the crowd is losing its mind. Half cheering, half screaming, literally nobody is sitting down anymore. But then, the absolute nightmare scenario happens for the Americans. 1-0. Canada scores first. Just try to imagine the dead silence that blanketed the USA fans, instantly contrasted by this massive explosion of cheers from the Canadian side. The pressure shifted in a millisecond. Now the USA isn't just fighting Canada, they're chasing the game. The clock is ticking down, and the weight of the world is right on their shoulders. Now, here's the crucial point. How do you respond to that deficit? This right here was the mid-game turning point. The USA regroups on the bench. And you know what? There's no panic, just absolute silence and hyper-focus. The coach looks his players dead in the eye with a pretty chilling reminder. This is the moment you were born for. That single sentence reignited the fire. They didn't let the pressure break them, they let it build them. Back on the ice, they aggressively hunt for an opening. And they get it. It happens in 3 lightning-fast steps. First, a power play chance opens up. Second, the puck zips left, right, center, moving like lightning, completely stretching the Canadian defense and breaking their formation. And 3, the shot is fired.
Goal! 1-1. The USA ties it up. The scoreboard flashes and the momentum completely shifts again. The arena absolutely explodes. You can physically feel the energy ripping through the stands. Suddenly, the whole game is wide open again, and both teams know that from this exact second forward, literally anything can happen.
Which brings us to a harsh hockey reality known as the third period grind. It's this state of total fatigue where bodies just crash. Hits feel way heavier. Exhausted teams completely refuse to fall in a winner-takes-all scenario. And that's exactly what this final period was. Grueling. You could see the fatigue on every single player's face. Every hit against the boards felt heavier. Both teams are running on fumes but entirely refusing to yield. One tiny mistake right here, it ends everything.
Those final minutes, an agonizing countdown. At the 15-minute mark, it's a dead heat of bruising hits. But at the 5-minute mark, Canada mounts this terrifying attack and hits the post, literally a fraction of an inch from ending the game. The USA survives by a hair. And that's the exact moment you see the USA bench realize, wait, we can win this. By the 2-minute warning, every single person in that crowd is standing. Heartbeats are absolutely through the roof.
10 seconds left. Everything slows down. Let's break down this sequence step by explosive step. 1. The puck is on the USA's stick. 2. A Canadian defender is closing in fast. The USA quickly shifts formation, pulling the defense. 3. Miraculously, space opens up right in the center. 4. The final shot is fired. Goal! The puck finds the back of the net, and the arena just erupts into total unhinged chaos. The USA takes the lead in the absolute final seconds of the game. Canada desperately tries to mount one last attack, but time runs out. The buzzer sounds. It's over. The USA actually wins. When that final buzzer hit, players literally collapsed on the ice. Some shouted at the rafters, some were crying, others just stared blankly at the scoreboard in absolute disbelief. Because this wasn't just hockey, this was legendary. They survived unimaginable pressure. They survived a historical titan of the sport, and they carved out a moment that fans are going to replay for the rest of their lives. I want to leave you with a final thought to take away from this incredible showdown. When the pressure rises in your own life, and you feel like you only have 10 seconds left on the clock, will you let it break you? Or, just like this young underdog USA team, will you let it build you? Think about that. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time as we decode the next big story.